defined a woman's worth has taken many forms throughout time. One of the most prevalent standards made for women has been the standard of men. But what we so often forget is that God has honored the woman by giving her value in relation to him, not in relation to men. Yet as some philosophies erase God from the scene, there is no standard left but men. As a result, these Western feminists, for example, are forced to find their value in relation to a man. And in so doing, she's accepted a faulty assumption. She's accepted that men are the standard, and thus a woman can never be a full human being until she becomes just like a man, the standard. When men cut their hair short, she wanted to cut her hair short. When a man joined the army, she wanted to join the army. She wanted these things sometimes for no other reason than because the standard had them. What she didn't recognize was that God defines both men and women in their distinctiveness, not in their sameness. When we accept men as the standard, suddenly anything uniquely feminine becomes by definition inferior. Being sensitive is an insult. Becoming a full-time mother, a degradation. In the battle between stoic rationality, traditionally considered masculine, and selfless compassion, considered feminine traditionally, rationality reigns supreme. As soon as we accept that anything a man has and does is better, all that follows is a knee-jerk reaction. If men have it, we want it too. If he can do it, I can do it better, right? If men pray in the front rows, we assume this is better, so we want to pray in the front rows too. If men lead prayer, we assume the imam's closer to God, so we want to lead prayer too. Somewhere along the line, we've accepted the notion that having a position of worldly leadership is some indication of one's position with God. But a Muslim woman doesn't need to degrade herself in this way. She has God as the standard. She has God to give her value. She doesn't need a man to do this. Given our privilege as women, we only degrade ourselves by trying to be something that we're not, and in all honesty, don't want to be, a man. As women, we will never reach true liberation until we stop trying to mimic men and value the beauty in our own God-given distinctiveness. And yet in society, there's another prevalent master which has defined for women their worth, and that is the so-called standard of beauty. Since the time we were little, we as women have been taught a very clear message by society, and that message goes like this: be thin, be sexy, be attractive, or be nothing. So we were told to put on their makeup and wear their short skirts, instructed to give our lives, our bodies, and our dignity for the cause of being pretty. We came to believe that no matter what we did, we were worthy only to the degree that we could please and be beautiful for men. So we spent our lives on the cover of Cosmo, and we gave our bodies for advertisers to sell. We were slaves, but they taught us that we were free. We were their object, but they swore that this was success. Because they taught you that the purpose of your life was to be on display, to attract and be beautiful for men, they had you believe that your body was created to market their cars. But they lied. Your body, your soul, was created for something higher. Something so much higher. God says in the Quran, verily the most honored of you in the sight of God is the one who is the most righteous. So you are honored, but it is not by your relationship to men, either being them or pleasing them. Your value as a woman is not measured by the size of your waist or the number of men who like you. Your worth as a human being is measured on a higher scale, a scale of righteousness and piety. And your purpose in life despite what the fashion magazines say, is something more sublime than just looking good for men. Our completion comes from God and our relationship with Him. And yet, from the time we were little, we as women have been taught that we will never reach completion until a man comes to complete us. Like Cinderella, we were taught that we are helpless until a prince comes to save us. Like Sleeping Beauty, we were told that our life doesn't fully begin until Prince Charming kisses us. But here's the thing. No prince can complete you and no knight can save you. Only God can. Your prince is only a human being. God may send him to be your companion, but not your savior. The coolness of your eyes, not the air in your lungs. Your air is in God. Your salvation and completion are in His nearness, not the nearness to any created thing, not the nearness to a prince, not the nearness to fashion or beauty or style. And so I ask you to unlearn, I ask you to stand up and tell the world that you are a slave to nothing, not to fashion, not to beauty, not to men. You are a slave to God and God alone. I ask you to tell the world that you're not here to please men with your body. You're here to please God. So to those who mean well and wish to liberate you, just smile and say, thanks, but no thanks.